Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings and welcome to the Jewel Network. The Jewel Network is a radio frequency of continuous streaming knowledge and wisdom which promotes and sustains the activation of the present evolutionary process of immortality and the unfolding of the God Self within the evolving planetary society presently on planet Earth. The Jewel Network is committed to teaching the sciences of life and the science of living. By cultivating the mind of a scientist, you will be able to extract the very best the current century has to offer. You are listening to Truth or Consequences 2011 with your host, historian, and metaphysician, Dr. Delbert Blair. Join Dr. Blair here each Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Jewel Network, hosted by blogtalkradio.com and thejewelnetwork.net.
Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome to Truth or Consequences 2012, I should say, right here on the Jewel Network, where we are justifiably enchanted with enlightened living. And, of course, I'm here with none other than our esteemed host, none other than good Dr. Delbert Blair. Dr. Blair, how are you this evening?
Doing well there again, Brother Thompson, and how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic and better by the moment. And I tell you, I don't think that anybody told planet Earth or the heavens that we exist in that it was a holiday, because things have definitely been rocking and rolling right on through.
Oh, man, I tell you, and this new year is here. This is the year 2012, the turning point in our consciousness, I would say. And obviously the turning point on this planet Earth, because so much is still happening. I will say one thing. Where I am in Chicago, it's been beautiful considering what it could be. It's been excellent. So I'm not wishing bad on anyone else, but I do say that we've been blessed here, at least the portion that I'm in. The temperature today was about what? It was above freezing and sunshiny. And for that to happen in January in Chicago is a miracle. So I'll take what I can get and then hope all the rest of the people will train their consciousness to bring in what they want to. But yes, man, around the planet itself, there is so much going on, and I'm looking very much forward, as I say, to Saturday and all, too, which I'll get into about the middle of the show. But just some of the events, of course, I do the research, and I have people that I check with, and they kind of fill me in. One of the things, they found a hybrid shark. This is out of Australia now, in Australian waters, and this hybrid shark seems to be a cross between a black shark and what they call the Australian black tip. And supposedly they don't mate. So now they found one that's hybrid. So something has mated them, and the thing is supposed to be very vicious. As you might know, if they mated it, they make something that would be vicious. Again. There's also a lot of, they found some meteorite fragments, and these fragments supposedly have crystals in them that have never been seen before. Now, I don't know what a crystal that was never seen before. I tried to get somebody to see if they could locate that on the internet with a picture of it. I couldn't do so. So if anybody's able to do that, it's supposed to be a rock fragment that was found. It was reported by one of the major universities. So where they got it from, I don't know. But again, if it was never seen before, then where did it come from? And who formed that crystal, since crystals are supposedly frozen waters and so on again like that. They also made a big deal about nothing over in CERN of that Hadron Collider. They stated that they have found a new particle. It's called a beauty quark, and an anti-quark discovered January 2nd is different from the beauty quark. Now, they've been looking for this new particle that could open up the door, I guess, to some kind of a whole different phylum or so like that. But that's the only thing they can think of again is a beauty quark. So now we have to determine what a beauty quark and an anti-quark that was discovered on January the 2nd is. They didn't release anything more about that. Also, they found that the Department of the Navy have produced now what they call a cicada. And a cicada is supposed to be an unmanned tiny drone that's released again from balloons or from airplanes or any other ship that they've been seeing before, and it's supposed to be able to observe, it's supposed to be able to attach, and so on and so forth again. And they call it cicada, and the acronym is Close in Covert Anti-Ionic Disposable Aircraft. So I guess that means simply that it's an autonomous type of a craft that is very close, can be covered over and does a lot of snooping or whatever again. Always something evil to go on with that one again. But getting into now the real news, and this is what I really hesitated to get into, so I'm going to take this very slowly, and some of which I'm just not going to share. I'm going to do this Saturday because I don't want to spoil everybody's weekend. But there's so much going on now, and so much of it I consider not to be good. And until I can get it straight how we can anti-do this, I'm going to avoid some of it. But I will not avoid some of the things that are happening. They're finding now in Thailand, and in fact the Gulf of Thailand, that there's a flooding going on there in the Khao Phraya River. And that runs all the way through the main capital of Bangkok there. Millions of Indians, many of the islands in there are being inundated. Many of the inhabitants have drowned. They didn't say how many again. They have found that over 10,000 shellfish have been washed away. That includes, again, some of the ones that the farmers use, the fish, the shrimp, the algae, just flooded away. They have nothing to sell there now through there. And, of course, there was one bridge that was swept away, and supposedly there had been people on it. I can't get too much more from that one again. But that was in Thailand. What's very interesting, too, in Java, Indonesia, there's an area called the Solo. It's near what they call the Solo River, and that area plus 10 other small tributaries again have been flooding also again. And of course people want to know exactly if you're in Thailand, and we have many in Indonesia, I should say again, many of the soldiers are stationed there again. The Bingo, the Phragan, the Klaten, and the Bibis rivers are all the cities that were within that flooding area. So I don't know what's going to be coming out of there. I'm sure there had to have been some deaths and some devastation, but that was going on as we speak. Of course, in Japan, they had a 7.0 earthquake, and that was on the 1st. That was the New Year again. And in Ohio, they had a 4.9 earthquake, and of course, that was on New Year's Eve itself. In Glasgow, Scotland, they experienced 91 mile-per-hour winds again, and the Kingston Bridge there was closed. The tunnel that goes underneath that river there, that was closed down again, and the Clyde and Erskine Bridge were closed down. That has never happened. That didn't happen during the war, when of course it could have been bombed and all. So that was also very interesting to see something going on in there. And I guess, well, there's another thing to make it kind of ironic before I start hitting some of this real rough stuff. The FDA has made an announcement that walnuts that were manufactured by the Diamond Foods Company contain drugs, and since the Diamond Foods also are said to be very rich in omega-3s, they have banned the sale of walnuts from the Diamond Food Company, because the walnuts now are classified as a drug, and so therefore if it cured anything it had to be a drug, so therefore the omega coming from that is banned. So now if you buy walnuts from there now, you're buying contraband. I said I'd never thought I'd live to hear this kind of international food. I never heard of stuff like this before. And they also said that the National Library of Medicine database already states that walnuts do contain helpful omega-3s. So I guess they're going to have to change that now, the database for the in the National U.S. Library. I mean, this thing's now getting down to just becoming just ludicrous. But what I've been trying to avoid is this one. And I'll only harp on this once. And again, possibly Saturday I'll get into it more, but I got to really consider this one again. They found out there that many of these volcanoes are now going off. Well, which one I want to give? Mount Cleveland, which is located, of course, in the Aleutian Islands again, it's beginning to rumble and tremble and spew a little mile-high explosion, if you would. In Iceland, the Katla area again produced a large volcanic eruption again, and also there's lava flows that are going on there, and that's up in Iceland again, if you would. In Greece, the city of Santorini has a subterranean volcano there. It's called Colombo. It's underneath the waters, and part of what they call the Comini Line. The Comini Line is a tectonic plate there which produces all kind of calderas, and they're finding pressure all along those calderas, and that simply means that that whole area there underneath is now becoming active. Now that's a huge tectonic plate. Continents rest on tectonic plates, and when you get movement of them, if it didn't even explode, you could get all kind of tsunamis and every other thing. So that was kind of a pointing to me what in the world could be going on. But then as I kept looking, unfortunately, I found what I didn't want to find. It says that east of Java, there's a Mount Ijen. There's also another mountain there called Mount Semeru. There's another one called Mount Bromo. And all of these are set to explode at any time according to the scientists. Now, there are 5 other volcanoes smaller than that are stated to be rumbling. And there are Mount Gamalal, there are Mount Deternatus, there are Mount Mulikan, there's Mount Paparamawa, and there's Mount Garue. Now, all these things sound strange. The point is these are all large mountains covering a 50-mile area again. What was the clincher for all of this is they stated that in Mount Lokan, and they're spread out again over this 50-mile area, it is near another volcano which is rumbling called Ana Krakatoa. And if you remember, there was a movie produced called Krakatoa East of Java. That's the same Krakatoa now that took out half the earth with water when it went off before. So what I'm saying to you, there is definitely something seismic happening on our planet. It's happening all over our planet. And in between all of these acts of nature, which may have been Draco-caused or man-caused, are all these laws being passed, which means that somebody must think it's the end of the world, because the kind of laws they're passing now are so restrictive, even going back to the opening of the old debtor's prison, giving you cards in order to use for credit, that if you sign off on it, you're responsible for all debts, even if you filed bankruptcy. I'm going to get into some of this Saturday, but I'm saying it is so much going on here now. And the last thing I want to throw in, because I remembered you shared with me, and I thank you so much for the respect of that, and I definitely want you to read it, but I had some predictions that I made 15 years ago. They're still true, and I'm going to republish them and add some of the other ones I had. But one of the things that I put on there, at the time I put it out in 74, they said, well, what does this have to do with anything? But I said it means it's going to be a big change on the islands of Japan. They said, what? And so I said simply, the birth of a princess in the lands called Japan means an empress may soon reign in the seed of Pan. And Pan was Pangaea, where the gods were soon to come. And it meant that there would be the chance of a princess soon ruling Japan, not an empress. A princess becomes an empress of Japan. And then you said something to me that I would like for you to repeat based on what I just said there. And I think the audience should really start thinking very deeply. Your audience and my audience does anyway, but we need to start really thinking deeply. Do you want to share that with them again, Brother Montgomery?
Well, earlier today on YouTube, there was the posting of a video about the Princess of Japan, Princess Kaoru Nakamaru, and her revelations of the coming times. According to the video, she has been in contact with extraterrestrials as well as interterrestrial beings for the past 25 years, almost a little bit over 30 years, actually. And she says that in December, for December 21st to the 22nd, and for the 3 days after that, that there are supposed to be 3 days of continuous darkness. According to her, no sun, no stars, no nothing. And she goes on in this video to start to warn the people and prepare them for what they can do in order to get ready. She talks about the underground cities that are being built in places like Norway and Australia, for example. And she's also warning the people to stay away from any type of a beverage or food that is to be placed in an aluminum can, noting it as poisonous.
Very interesting, very interesting. Well, that ties in, again, with the prophecy prediction, not a prophecy. I don't make prophecies, I make predictions again. Back in 74, that the birth of a princess might change a lot of things in a land called Japan, and it meant also that the feminine quality, which would bring back psychic power to Japan. What it didn't say, of course, that when it brought back psychic power to Japan, it also took away the old Japan and has a whole land now radioactive and poisoned, so the people of Japan have got to migrate. These are some interesting times, man. I don't care how you look at it, from where you look at it, what religion you're using, what spirituality. This is a time of great change on our planet, wonderful change and horrible change, but a time of change. And the thing is now we've got to do, and I re-insist and re-ask and re-advise and keep reminding myself, think right, eat right, and drink right. And don't miss a beat. If you miss a beat, catch up and try to cover over and catch up with that beat again, because we're obviously being watched. Our planet is about to go through some changes. And remember this again. High forces that you would want to be in contact with, vibrate on a higher rate of speed. They don't eat what you eat. They don't do as you do. They've learned a little bit more toward the spiritual side. If religiosity holds you back, if your prom or your or whatever it is going to hold you back, if anything makes you not do the right thing and it makes you impressed on yourself that you're not doing the right thing, get rid of it. Because you cannot fool the Creator, you cannot fool higher beings, and as I stated before, on some of the craft that I've been privileged to talk about and have explained to me, and as you know, I told you a long time ago as a contactee, the vibrations that you have, if it's full of the things that are poisonous, if your thoughts are low in vibration, you couldn't even get on one of their ships. How could you go to one of their cities? So really, by not changing your vibrations, by not cleaning up your act, by not doing the gold, by not start doing the stupid and silly things and cursing out people and fussing about nothing, you're lowering your vibrations and cutting yourself off from the heaven on earth. And believe me, our earth is going to go through changes. But as I stated before, it is my fervent belief that, and I've been a messenger for some time, and now you got more messengers coming up again. I'm a small one, they're big ones. You got to change. And if you're not changing and somebody else holds you back, let them go. Because you'll meet others that can change, which will make this a beautiful planet. Other than that, we're giving energies unused to the Dracons to hold this planet back, to cause all these devastations to go. The warning signs are out on everything, on the land, on the water, on the sea. It's time, I think, we heard, we listened, and start not just talking about it, doing something about it. To now, I think we got to walk the talk.
I think that is about as straightforward as it gets when it comes to what we need to do. You know, before we open up the lines, I just have one question about all of these things going on right now. And, of course, you mentioned that, you know, some of these might be man-made, some of these are natural, some of these are coming from inside the earth, outside the earth, and a lot of it because of what we as individuals are doing. Is there any way for us to be able to discern the cause of a particular circumstance, a certain happening?
You mean when they're man-made and harp-made and Isaacat-made and Elata-made by these evil governments that now serve the Dracons? Sure. Anytime they're using what they call the certain technology, the harp technology, you hear a humming. First of all, you see a pressure drop. You can feel it in your ears, and it's almost like something drops. Then you can hear a humming sound, and that pitch, the higher the pitch, the worse, the better the sound. The lower the pitch, the worse the thing is going to be occurring. And there's a sound that harp makes when it goes to enrins molecules and all like this. So when you start seeing that, you feel a sudden pressure drop, 9/10 out of 10, it's being worked by either Elata, which is a European scatter technology, by Elata, which is electrified aero discharge, which they use in Russia, by HARP, High Frequency Active Aurora Research Center. All of these things are what they call, and of course now we can even add CERN, because anytime you want to create a particle that can smash out and possibly open up other kind of terrains, which is not done by the Creator, it means again that you're playing God, and you're playing God to change the course of our planet. So consequently, all of these things usually give off a sound effect, and usually the lower the sound, the worse the sound. And if you can feel that pressure in your ear, like, that also means you're probably going through some kind of a wavelength that's being produced by one of these machines. Possibility anyway.
Wow, that's fascinating, because, you know, you can't create a particle without pulling something from somewhere else, and the universe, it is desired.
And then want to collide it. They tell you they want it to collide with something else to see what happens. Oh, that's real intelligence.
That's rich. Well, let's make sure that we get some of these callers. People are jumping at the bit to get to you, and for anybody that's a little bit on the fringe or on the fence, jump off the fence and jump on the line, and the number is 347-215-9531. Once again, that's 347-215-9531. And our first call is coming from area code 678. So 678, greetings. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Dr. Blair.
Greetings. This is Lady D, and I am calling from Powder Springs, Georgia. Hello, Dr. Blair. Hello, host.
And hello, Lady D, and thank you for calling.
You are so very welcome. I began listening to some of your YouTube videos, and your BTR appearances, and I must say I am blown away by a lot of the content that you've revealed. And, well, you know what? Let me put it this way. Not necessarily blown away, but a lot of things resonated with me. And I'm trying to train myself to be able to pick up, and intuit things that are good for me or not so good, because there's so much information out there, I get confused sometimes. And with that said, I have a question about some of your products, specifically the powdered gold that appear on your website. And can you tell me if any of the products that have the gold in them are beneficial to being able to connect brain pathways so that I can utilize my full brain power, as well as being able to tune into, I guess, the creator source, because I have a problem with meditation right now.
Okay, I think I got your question. The question is about the gold products that we sell. Is that correct?
Right.
All right. I thank you, first of all, for the opening comments. I'm glad that it grabbed your attention. I've been at it 50 years, so I'm not new. And since you are finding some good from it enough to call tonight, then let me deal with what you asked for directly. We have 15 kind of gold products. All the gold will affect the vibrational rate of any cell that it has contact with for the good. It will help that cell to operate at peak efficiency. It will help that cell to begin to ask for things to help it to operate at peak efficiency. And you say, what do I mean by that? Come out to our session on Sunday or join up with the class where we show you how you can talk to your body and your body never lies. We've lost contact with that. We have to restore that. So take it from me, the gold products work. Now, there's one that works, the powder, that is strictly for psychic ability. Dreaming in color, astral projecting, that's all it's good for. It's not going to do a thing for you physically. It's going to work on the metaphysical psychic area of the body. We have a gold cap that works on the lower bodies. We have a gold liquid that works on all the cells in all the bodies. We have a gold for mucus. We have a gold for with gold and silver and silica for illumination and for immune defense again. We have a black gold to take out poisons. We have a gold that the powder will help you to get psychic, but the gold itself and the DNA boost will help all your cells to operate at peak efficiency. When you use them in combinations, you can use them each day as much as you want. So no matter how much money you have, how much time you have, and how much faith you have in our product. We have them out there for you.
Now, should I consult with my physician before taking any of these products?
If your physician is an allopath, they're not going to know anything about it anyway, and they're going to tell you no. That's up to you.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate the information, and I will continue to listen.
Thank you so very much, and the Creator bless you and yours.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. And, of course, while you're here listening, in conjunction with the gold, amazing way to open up the brain's neural pathways is to re-engineer the brain and those neural pathways. And a prime way to do that is with Dr. Jewel's balancing program. So for more information on that, please email balancing@thejewelnetwork.net, or you can visit our webpage at www.thejewelnetwork.net and get information on that.
So that fitted real good. That was a bridge question. And yes, Dr. Jules works. Mine works. I think, again, you got a lot of answers there, sister. A lot of answers. I tell you, I said it once and I'll say it again. A balanced brain with monatomic gold is like Superman doing P90X. This is going to be, you looking for something, then you got that. That's an amazing combination right there. Yeah, and we all have got to raise, if those prophecies are coming true, and it seems like they are, we all got a little short time to get our vibrations very high. Exactly. Our next call is coming from area code 704.
Hello.
704? Hello?
Right here. Hello, Dr. Blair.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening, and you're on.
All right, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm living in North Carolina, near Charlotte, And yesterday and today, I've noticed a tremendous amount of chemtrails being put up in the sky, you know. I mean, especially today, it was like one plane after the other. They were running in like a sequence, one after the other, one after the other.
They did the same thing in Chicago where I am, and they did it yesterday too, and they're doing it at night. You're not alone. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're all getting our little share of chemtrails.
Right. What do you think that is that they're emitting in chemtrails?
Oh man, have you ever heard my shows before? You got any of my tapes on chemtrails? Have you heard me talk about it?
I listen every week. I heard you speak on it. You know, I'll just ask you again. So,
okay. Well, I have a whole tape on chemtrails and stuff and what they do. Overall, they're for mind control. They help to produce weather modification because of the titanium, barium, and aluminum. They also can help with the in looking some of these refracting things that they're using out in space. They're good for everything bad you can think of again. In fact, they've sprayed them so much that, as I said before on this show, the cesium and plutonium that leaked into Daiichi Fume plants out there in Japan went into the water, and a hydrogen cloud released cesium-90 and plutonium. That mixed with the titanium, barium, and aluminum that's been being sprayed for 23 years, and immediately that went all around the Earth because it had been 23 years of preparation. Now the Earth, according to the Chinese satellite that was launched November, almost 14 months ago now, our planet looks like Venus. It is so full of clouds and opaque things covering it that it looks just like Venus. You can't even see the surface anymore. So all of those things we have to breathe. All of those things now they can do weather modification with. All of those things they can do whatever they want to with it. And, of course, there is no federal, state, county, municipal government on any of the world's governments that is admitted to them. They all give them talk about contrails and foolishness like that. So the people have awakened. The government of the people is no longer awake.
Okay. I have one more question I want to ask you. U.S. Patent Office, patent number 5676977. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
With the silver 4 and oxygen 4?
No.
You never heard of oxygen 4 and silver 4?
Heard about foil? I know nothing about the patent. You want to tell us what it is exactly?
Yeah, it's a patent for the cure of AIDS. And they have it at the patent office, but they're not using it. And they had a few people that they tested it on, and it works, but they're not releasing it to the public.
Oh,
and
that's
fair. Talk about colloidal silver and gold and all of these things, and that's one of the that's the ingredient that's in the cure. Silver.
Okay, take that back, brother. I do have that written down somewhere. I had forgotten. And until you brought it up, I not only forgotten, I forgot where I put it. And I'm looking for it now as we talk because, yes, I did hear about that and a couple of other things in, too. There was one for SARS, there was one for AIDS, and there was one for something else. That was to take care of black people, yellow people, and every other people on Earth. Yeah, I had heard about that, and I thank you for sharing it again. I had forgotten.
Right, and it's called, what's it called, tetra silver, tetra oxide molecular crystal devices, and it's silver 4 and oxygen 4. I wanted to ask you what the oxygen 4 was.
The oxygen 4, I have no idea. Although oxygen, we're using, what I do have an idea too. Let me stop saying that. The oxygen, we say H2O is water, and then we talk about oxygen 2 and 3 and so on like that. We actually should be breathing oxygen 3, which is what you used to get after a good rain. Boy, my brain is failing me here, and I don't like that at all. There's an O3. In fact, I had a whole book about oxygen and its variables. And the thing we're breathing now is not the real thing we should be breathing. Ozone. That's when it converts to ozone on that one again. Now, I'd rather do some research again so I can talk intelligently about that. But we're breathing the wrong thing now anyway. And to that, not only breathing the wrong thing, but as you say, even adding all these other chemicals and minerals to it too. So we're in deep trouble here. It's nothing but a zoo, and we're just finally waking up that we're finally able to get out of this zoo in the cages we've been in. But I thank you for sharing that. You want to repeat that number again in case somebody else wants to try to look it up?
You go to Google search for U.S. Patent Office, and you enter patent number 5676977.
Well, there you go, and I thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good of us.
All right, thank you.
Right on.
All right, well, Doc, let's take one short break and then come right back to more questions and, of course, more answers. So don't go anywhere. You are listening to Truth or Consequences 2012 right here on the Jewel Network with your host, Dr. Delbert Blair. We'll be right back. Would you like to be smarter, more at peace in your life? Are you searching for a greater spiritual connection? All of this and much more can be yours by enrolling in Dr. Jewel's balancing program. Many participants feel effects from day one, and in no time you can enjoy the physiological effects equal to 8 hours of meditation in as little as 15 minutes a day. To learn more and sign up for Dr. Jewel's balancing program, please visit our website, www.thejewelnetwork.net. And welcome back to Truth or Consequences 2012, right here on the Jewel Network with your host, Dr. Delbert Blair. And, Doc, I know that you had some announcements that you wanted to give, and I think this might be as good of time as any.
All right. First of all, I hope everybody has pencils and papers out, or typing paper, or whatever you're using, or you're able to type on your whatever. Anyway, please take down some of these notes. It will clear up a lot of questions and answer a lot of questions that I've answered before, but new questions arise. This coming weekend is a big one here at the Meta Center. On Saturday, the 7th, from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to produce my first show that's going to be, you might as well say, cableized or so. You can sign up for it for as little as $10, and I'm going to look into some of the predictions and some of the prophecies. I'm going to highlight a few of the things that happened this year, last year, and then get into some of the forecasts I see coming up for the coming year. And then also we're going to interchange. I'm going to have a few members of the Meta Center here with me, and then also we're hoping some of our public will be in, because after the show we're going to get into some other things too, because we've all got to put our heads together at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. But our heads together and our minds together rather than that. So that would be, if you want, you can still sign up for it. You sign up on the Internet. It costs $10, and you simply go up there and you say you want to get in on the show that's going to be done on the 7th. It's $10, it's the 7th, and you simply punch that in if you would. You'll be called. In fact, now you'll start getting emails again probably tomorrow after 6 o'clock as to what the password will be for you to be able to take part in the show. We waited to the last minute because I didn't know if we were going to have enough people to have to not put it off for another week. But I think I'm not greedy, so we got enough at least to pay the freight. And then hopefully if we do it again the next week or so, there'll be even more people. But that will be our inaugural. You can say you were there when Dr. Blair went back on the Internet on his own show, and you were part of it again. It's $10, and, of course, our web address, www.themetacenter2.com or www.themetacenter.com. We bought back our domain name. Either one should get you to it. And you'll see my smiling face up there, which, by the way, we're going to change that too. Not because of the smile, but more of an update, if you will, again now. So, again, if you want to phone by a landline, it's 708-422-6685, 708-422-6685. And that's it. I hope everybody listening will at least give me a play on Saturday. Otherwise, I'll be talking to no one, and we'll be spending all this money for nothing. But I know you will, and I trust in you. Also, as I say, we're going to be doing some other things, too, of interest in the coming future with the Creator's help. And, Brother Maurice, I thank you again for letting me make that announcement.
No problem. Our pleasure. And let us make sure that we hold the collective focus that as many people as possible get a chance to get this vital information, because that's really what it's all about. So,
well, you got it. That's what it is all about. In fact, that's what my whole purpose in life is all about now, just about.
Well, with that being said, let us answer some more questions. Our next call is from area code 202. So 202, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Dr. Blair.
Greetings. This is the captain calling from Washington, D.C.
Hey, Cap.
My question is this, Dr. Blair. First of all, I'm grateful for all of your research. Thank you. I was starting the year off with a fast, and some information came to me, and I was wondering your perspective on it. There's a guy by the name of Dr. Wiley Brooks, who is a breatharian, and apparently for 20, 30 years, he has not consumed any food under the basis that he is a five-dimensional being. And like you say, how we are graduating into the fifth dimension, his stance is that food is not needed, but there was also part of his research that said that consuming foods like cows or beef has a very high...
Part of the research that does what with cows and beasts?
It's his stance that he's saying that cows, sacred cows, if you consume them, if you consume the beef, that it has a very high wave frequency, and that there's certain foods that are made for five-dimensional beings, whereas, say, a vegan or a vegetarian eating fruits and vegetables is consuming three-dimensional food. And I was wondering if you could kind of touch on that topic, or maybe if you've heard of this guy at all.
No, never heard of him, and I don't understand the statement, because if he's giving up the fiber for the essence of the fiber, which is life force and life source, then I don't understand the sacred cow being eaten by those on a higher dimension. I don't know of him. I cannot speak toward him. I'm assuming he said what he says, and if so, then he should show himself, because he'd be an example. Most people that achieve that are into monkdom, and they're usually in the Himalayas or the inner world, so I have no idea about him.
Okay,
I mean,
he also
said the Himalayas or the inner world, so I have no idea about him.
He did mention Earth Prime, and he did mention the gold and where it originates from, saying that five-dimensional air consists of liquid gold mist. Have you heard anything on that?
That makes sense. That could definitely make sense, because they say it's from decaying suns, and as I said, our Earth will soon become, well, I'll leave that alone too. I can only say I don't know of him, but some of the things make sense to me. Some of the things also don't make sense to me.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you for calling. Our next call is from area code 586.
Yeah, greetings.
Greetings.
Hello?
Yes,
yeah, greetings.
you're on.
My question, right, I had a question, because it's something that I saw like about 2 months ago. It was late in the evening, around like about 9 or 10 o'clock, and I so happened to look up in the sky, and there was a white light that went so fast. It was like it was gone within like a second or so. You know, and I wonder, you know, do you know anything about that right there, what that could have been, anything, because it went across the sky, and I could see how when it went across the sky, the Earth was really rounded, like, because it just went, and it just disappeared real quick, though.
Well, believe me, my brothers, you got some things up there to go from a horizon of highs in the blink of an eye. The calculated that might be faster than the speed of light, which, of course, our science says is impossible, which I say is foolishness. But nevertheless, who knows? They got things up there that can travel in the blink of an eye, coast to coast, gone. Now you see it, now you don't.
Oh, right. You know, and I was just shocked. You know, and I was on the expressway, too. You know, so I'm calling from Detroit, though. So that's all I have to say.
I'm in Detroit. Yeah, what are you on, 75 or?
Yeah, no, 94. I was on 94.
Oh, you were close in the Chicago area. I see, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's out there to be seen. You watch the sky long enough, you watch it 24 hours, you see if you can get past
right.
it.
And
see
one
everything.
more question. And I so happened to look at the moon, too, at this one particular time. It was just a clear sky with no clouds around or nothing like that. It was a few stars, but I looked up close at the moon. It was a blue moon now. But around the moon, it was like the biggest ring around the moon, to where it was like, it looked sort of like some type of portal or something like that. And I just couldn't believe it, because I never seen it like that, because I do a lot of stargazing and, you know, looking at, like, you know, the moon, all the stars all the time. I pay attention to the clouds, you know, the sun when it's set, you know what I'm saying, everything. And that particular night, I just never seen it like that before. It just seemed like something was, it was just like, it was just a big hole around the moon, like it was some type of portal or something like that. So And I was just wondering, do you know what that was or anything to elaborate on that?
Watch the skies long enough, you can see almost anything you want to see or don't want to see. Around the moon, according to metaphysics, there's an energy field. Like around our planet is a natural energy field. The one around the moon is not a natural energy field because the moon is not a natural body. It's a spaceship. It's a thing that was driven out here and caused all kind of problems. And they powered down those motors so they couldn't build them up again because it would have shunted the Earth out of orbit. So I hope that that energy field is not being restored. Since it is used supposedly by aliens and extraterrestrials, then who knows? But yes, around all things that are natural, there's an energy field. That's why using petroleum and things is so ridiculous, because we got energy around everything. It's in the energy of the mind of the universal creator. The one around the moon, I'm not sure what you saw, but like I say, our hope is not what I think it might be, but simply, again, some energy that's still around it again. But they got everything out there now.
Right, okay. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot. Now, we keep tuning in to you guys. And what was that on the day that that you said you was going to be on? Was that cable or something like that?
Yeah, it's a number. You can, if you go to our website, it's explained right up on our website. The website is www.themetacenter.com. If you've been there before, then go there. On the home page, if you're looking to be new, there's a place to sign up. It costs $10, and we'll send you. It will give you a password where you can hear the show we're going to do for the first time from our center tomorrow. On Saturday evening between 5 and 7. And the password will be emailed to you. So make sure you leave your email clear and distinctly.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, our next call is coming from area code 718.
Hi. Hello, Brother Maurice and Dr. Blair. My question is, my name is Ashaya from New York. My question is, Dr. Blair, you was talking about something about it being nighttime, and it just stayed night or something like that. This was on New Year's Eve, or it could have been New Year's morning. I was watching the Twilight Zone, and they was talking about the same thing that you were talking about with, I think it stayed night or whatever. Well, it was like 7 a.m. in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. Somebody was supposed to be electrocuted, and it was still dark. It was still pitch black outside. I don't know if you can speak more on that. Maybe I didn't catch everything, but watching the Twilight Zone, they talk about the fifth dimension. They talk about some groovy, some real cool stuff or whatever like that. So if you could just elaborate on the night topic you was talking about.
Yeah. Well, they're bringing back Twilight Zone. They're bringing back Outer Limits. They're bringing back everything that's metaphysical now that had any kind of depth to it again, because the people have to awake, and so these are things to give them choices as they awaken. At the beginning of the show, I don't know if you were tuned in then again, when Brother Maurice was also reading about the Empress that was there, and she had predicted, according to the thing that's up on the Internet, that the 27th and so of December, around that time, that there would be 3 days of darkness. Now, the 3 days of darkness I also believe in. I didn't post it as the 27th of December, but what I did state way back, I guess that was about 1973 or 4 or something, about the Empress being born. And that was a prediction. So now she's not only been born, she was a princess, and now she's an empress, which means she can give off edictions, and obviously she's a starseed or a very advanced soul. So consequently, what she has said, that this will happen after the devastation of Earth, and that devastation of Earth is supposed to be December 21st, 2012. But she's saying there'll be 3 days of darkness. So if there's 3 days of darkness, there must be something to get dark. So I guess there must be some Earth here again. Without being funny, because it's not a funny item again, I think that as our magnetic frequency takes over completely on this planet, everything electrical will not function. That means no lights. That scares some people, and some people who act crazy during that time. To act crazy at that time and rob and cheat is to send yourself straight to hell, because you'll stay with the lower vibration. That will be the separating point. When we get into a magnetic energy, you'll find magnetism also has its own light and will not be in darkness. But the darkness will be from a transcendency, from when electricity goes out, to the adapting of a higher frequency. And from that time on, we'll even be able to possibly get into orgone energy, because we'll be going into a whole different dimension. That's the concept that I see it, and that's my answer for what you asked.
All right. Thank you. Could I just say one more thing about the chemtrails? Does them spraying the chemtrails in the air, does that make it harder for people that are trying to clean up the act, rather it be habits, eating, all type of, crazy foods?
Yes, it makes it
like
harder.
That. It makes it harder. Okay, that's so. All right, they acclimate to the environment. Okay.
Mind control, weather control, planetary control, everything control. These Dracons want control, and they're losing control. And they would do anything they can if they had their way to destroy the whole planet and everything on it before they let go of it. So it's a battle to the finish. Fortunately, you're on the side of the good ones, but you have to prove it by vibrating with the good ones and not the bad ones. And when you do these things that are low, you're vibrating with the bad ones, and they want you, as bad as the angels want you that are good, these devils and imps want you that are bad. So it's according to your choice what you're going to do.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And if you're calling or anywhere in the New York City area like you are, make sure that you come and visit Dr. Jewel Pookrum. She's going to be doing a lecture on January 29th at Long Island University in Brooklyn. For more information, you can visit our homepage on Blog Talk Radio and just click that banner right at the top, and it'll show you a flyer with all types of information in terms of where you can get tickets. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that, saw the area code, and wanted to make sure that you had your face in the place. So with that being said, let us move on. Our next call is area code 646.
Greetings, Dr. Blair. Greetings, Brother Maurice. How you guys doing today? This is Anthony from Brooklyn.
Brother Anthony from Brooklyn, greetings to you too.
Yeah, just want to say, first of all, it is definitely like a pleasure listening to you guys. It's definitely like, food for the soul when I listen to you guys. So I definitely want to say I appreciate you. One of the questions I guess I'm looking for clarification on is a lot of commercials that I'm looking at, like all these different companies. I'm kind of seeing like them show like the Baphomet sign. They're always kind of like just doing the Baphomet sign. I'm like, and I know I kind of had a particular perception of what that was, and then I kind of see like they're like I guess Moorish individuals who use the Baphomet sign. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out like, is this a sign that was taken, or is there like a significant meaning behind this that, isn't demonic? Or is it
No,
just straight
not that I know of. It's all demonic. And, of course, the industry, unfortunately, out there that control most of the recordings, most of the videos, most of the photography, most of the CDs, everything else is controlled by the Illuminati. And most of them put out things that are evil, that will bring you down rather than lift you up. And, of course, this is what they do. And they also have sublinguals behind that. They got 13 tracks down underneath some of these recordings and stuff with the A&R men that have made them so again. It's all a matter of getting control and bringing the vibrations down as the planet wants control to bring vibrations up. And, of course, unfortunately now, most of the industry that's put out there is full of foolishness or full of things that will lead you into very low vibrations. That's all I can say.
Okay, and what is the significance behind 666?
Oh, that has a lot of interpretation. Some say turn it upside down, it's 999. I've heard all kind of interpretations, so therefore I don't want to voice mine, plus it might not be any better than everybody else's. But in general, as a mark of the beast, what it is said, I think it is more a something to concentrate on, and in concentrating on it usually brings out now evil negativity. It brings out feelings of evil, and consequently in the feelings of evil, that lowers your vibration. That's why I don't deal with that much again. I've heard all kind of interpretations. I doubt there's nothing you could say that I haven't heard about what it really means. But what I think it really is, again, it's a way of making you concentrate, and unfortunately to concentrate on evil. We don't need to concentrate on any evil.
Got you. And my follow-up question was, this blood ritual thing, I've seen it take place, I guess, through, I've read it in the Bible. I see it practiced in voodoo. I know that, obviously there are dark forces that practice it. I mean, like, is this something that is just all, demonic and dark, or is there something, I guess, of a conscious mindset behind it, like the blood rituals and blood...
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand your closing sentence. Like the what?
When I say like blood rituals, like the blood tributes, when they do like like
Okay, well, I understand both sacrifices, but what was your closing sentence?
Oh, no. I basically was trying to figure out, like, you know, when I read the stuff in the Bible, is this basically all like just dark things behind these acts, or is there something other that's going on? Is there like a, you know, is there any positive, I guess, usage of, you know, like sacrificing foods for, you know, the
well,
God?
you just answered your question. If you're sacrificing foods that will lower your vibrations and your consciousness, your spirit, your mind tells you it's bad, and you give it up, you've made a sacrifice. But you sacrifice for the good. If you know you're going to eat ground up meat that may have pig fat in it, may have every other thing in it, and you know you're going to eat some mercury or some poison, or you're going to get out some table salt and sodium that's going to make you bloat up, and you eat it anyway, you're not sacrificing anything. You're being sacrificed. The sacrificial lamb is that does not take control of itself and become the cow it should be. It's a matter of how soon do you grow up. Your choices every day are for high or low, good or bad, yin or yang. Everything here is a choice, and this is what I say many times. The choice is not to straddle the fence and try each one, because any part that moves takes your crotch out. Therefore, again, you're going to have to sit on one side of the fence or jump over it to the other side quickly. Therefore, you are what you eat. You are what you think, eat, and drink.
Yeah, and you on your website there is a I guess a diode that you would use for food to re-energize it. Is that correct?
Diode plaque. It's a transmutation plaque, 8.5 by 11. You put it on the cork side. Anything you put on the cork side for at least a half an hour will change from something bad to something good. If there's radiation in it, it will take the radiation out. If there's poisons in, it will nullify them. If it's bad meat, it'll leave you fiber, at least with nothing else there but fiber to eat. At least it won't be bad things for you. This is why every home, every restaurant, anybody that's got any sense should have one of those on the kitchen table, on a countertop somewhere, and when those groceries come in, you put it on there. You put cigarettes on there, it takes the nicotine out. You put coffee on there, it takes the caffeine out. Put those funny little cigarettes on that nobody knows about, takes that out too, and can even get deeper than that on some even more poisonous substances. It's a gift from the Creator. Everybody should have it. Everybody doesn't.
I will definitely order one. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, Creator. Bless you.
All right, great, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next call is from area code 917.
Yes. Hi, good evening, both Dr. Blair and Brother Maurice.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I got a question. I have a few questions, actually. First one, Dr. Blair, I've noticed in the recent years there's been a lot more girls being born than there are boys. I'm not sure if it's a stigma of my own imagination, but just wondering, is that something that you've seen as well? And if so, what you think it may be, or what may have caused it? Is there anything behind this?
Well, I'm grandfather twice now. Both were boys. I have somebody else who know birthed a boy. It's not happening in my field. Now, overall, I do believe that there may be more females being born. I don't really know. I know there are more females on the earth at this time because of wars and locking up millions of black men and every other damn thing, pardon expression. That makes me curse, because that's the only time I get very angry of what they're doing to the black male and the melanin, and the melanated gods. But in general, usually it's just simply because a woman usually produces what she wants. And I found that to be a truism that I figured out for myself, and that is, if you're into your man, the first baby will be a boy. If you're into yourself and you're female, the first baby will be a woman. And in many cases now, with the extrication of men in wars and stuff like this, there should be more men being born. Again, I don't know that to be a fact. I know that there are on earth more women overall than men, but the births coming in now, I don't see it that way. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying around me, I'm seeing boy babies.
Right, yeah. It's only because sometimes I stand by elementary schools and looking at those kids coming out, and there's an overwhelming amount of girls over boys. But
well, I know the planet is female, and the planet vibration we're going to is a 50-dimensional female, so who knows? That might have something to do with it. No. I know a lot of, well, I shouldn't say that either. I know some star seeds, and 3 of them are females, 1 is a male, so that's all I can say.
Okay. I got a personal question, if you don't mind. I'm about to, actually I was told by my dentist that I must extract one of my wisdom tooth, and I heard this is could be a dangerous process. What are your take on that? Do you think it's...
Well, why did they say you need the extraction of it? It's not coming in. It's coming in on top of something. What's wrong?
It's hurting a lot, and seems like it has calmed down a bit.
I would say this again. You know, if you cut wisdom teeth, it meant that you had some giant blood. Now, let me not say that. I like to have fun, but forgive me on that one. Let me get to the point. If you have to have surgery to remove it, it's because you're able to grow another molar in the back now, and it's either coming in on top of something else and all. The worst thing you can do of all of, even if you extract it, is to have mercury amalgam replace it. That's what you don't want. You want no metals or mercury in your body, period. That's especially not in your mouth up there near the hypothalamus. But other than that, we have to find out why. There's probably some things you can do, including bee propolis and other stuff like this, that can probably ease that tissue and have it to come through if it's still trying to come through. You're fortunate that you're still able to get. They call it wisdom teeth because sometimes those double molars never come out like that, even in a life, even in a lifetime.
Right. Okay. I guess one last question I had.
Wait a minute. Now, you got many questions now. We're usually taking one at a time at this time. You had 2.
Yeah,
let's ease in one more, make it quickly, and then after that, please, everybody, one at a time.
Right. It's in reference to wheatgrass. I've been researching a lot of medicine. Or what are your take on wheatgrass?
Wheatgrass, barley grass are 2 of the land things that are rich in alkalines and chlorophyll. Spirulina and chlorella are things that are in the water that were good. Everything's getting messed up now between the chem spills and the poison of the water. But usually these seaweeds would throw away the water. They would throw away the poison and outgrow them. So literally, spirulina, chlorella, wheatgrass, barley grass are all good. We have products containing all of that. One is called Daily Energy Greens, which has 37 alkaline, organic, mineral things like that. We also have it in combination with our Life Source Super Sprout, which contains gold with that. So you can either go with any of the green things you want already in organic form and can be saved and stored if you don't open the box. So you can get one to use and one to store for a rainy day or a dark night.
Right. All right, that'll be it for me. Thanks a lot, Dr. Blair and Brother Maurice, for having the show.
Creator bless.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's take one more call before our next break, and that's going to be from area code 732. And please, friendly reminder, 1 question per caller, please.
Hello?
You're on.
Okay, how you doing, Dr. Blair? I just wanted some information, pretty much. I would like information of what can I do to prepare my family, because I have a newborn that's about to be born soon. So, I want to try and prepare him for everything that's possible. And what can I do right now at this point to prepare myself and my family for the future about everything that's going on? I just need information.
When is he due to be here? When? You said he. You already had ultrasound or something?
Oh, yes. I already know. Yes.
Okay. When is he due?
Oh, he's going to be due in about 15 days.
Right. Well, you got in advance, so anyone that comes in here has got to be out of his mind, or in his mind more than I'm in my mind, because any soul coming in here now is a star seed. You don't have to even question it anymore. Either has a heavy karma to get through, or something wondrous to bring to you. According to how you conceived, conceive means to conceive mentally. So I simply say, how you and your lady felt when you conceived him. If you call forth that kind of a soul, and that soul comes out, that soul will be coming out, walking, talking. All right, I'm exaggerating. Coughing out, blinking and winking. Meaning by that, the eyes will be open. They'll be able to perceive on each side, and if you listen to them and cultivate that, they'll tell you where they just left and everything about it. You say they can't talk. They can, but you have to talk mentally to him or to her. And in fact, had she carried and started doing that conversation while in the womb, in the amniotic fluid, it develops even faster. I hope she's going to breastfeed.
Yes.
I hope she's taking gold.
Excuse me?
I hope your wife is taking gold, and I hope she's going to breastfeed.
Gold sealed, is that what you're saying?
Gold, well, okay, you're not familiar. Well, we have monatomic gold, and if the preposition is you're choosing, it would help her to take that in, since she's going to be, hopefully she's going to breastfeed, and don't let them talk her out of it.
No, so, she is breastfeeding.
Pardon me?
Yes, she's breastfeeding, yes.
Well, then I would say take in some of the gold too, especially the gold liquid again. That will help a great deal in quickening and keeping that spirit alive, so that you can see on both sides of the fence. Meaning, remember what is there as well as developing quickly into what is here. You can learn a lot.
Yes, and where can I obtain this kind of?
Our website is www.themedicenter.com. www.themedicenter2.com or themedicenter.com, either one. Go up there, and you'll be able to just have fun. Just scroll all the way through. If you need more information, 708-422-6685. 708-422-6685, okay?
6685. Thank you, sir.
God bless you and yours.
All right.
Thank you very much. Take a quick commercial break and come back with more questions. And you're listening to Truth or Consequences 2012 right here on the Jewel Network. We'll be right back.
From Jewel Publications, Straight from the Heart by Dr. Jewel Pookrum. An incredible volume of work, Dr. Jewel explores the genesis of disease, prostate health, and sexuality, as well as sharing a new look at the effects emotions play in the resolution of cancer. Straight from the Heart is an outpouring of wisdom that you will read over again. Get your paperback or ebook copy today.
And welcome back. For those of you just now tuning in, you're listening to Truth or Consequences 2012 with your host, Dr. Delbert Blair, right here on the Jewel Network. So, Dr. Blair, we got plenty more callers coming in, and our next one is area code 313.
Hello?
Hey, Michigan, you're on.
All right, this light scan from Inkster. I got a question.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm from Inkster, Michigan.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Houston. All right, go ahead.
All right. I heard you talking about the monatomic gold, and I remember this article I was reading years ago, and they was talking about frequencies and mind control. You know, like radio frequencies, EFL waves, and things like that. And I was wondering, if you consume the gold, would it make your body more conducive to these frequencies?
When you consume the gold, it'll make your body more conducive to every kind of frequency. It's then what you do with the frequency you tune to that you get. This expands your consciousness. This lets your cells become what it is. You direct what it is. This is just another tool.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, thank you. Next up is area code 212.
Hello?
We're listening to you.
I'm on? Oh, hello.
You're on.
Thank you. My name is Bonnie, and I'm living in New York. And how are you doing, Mr. Blair?
I think I remember somebody's ordered from me about 20 times.
Yes, you know my voice.
I know you, and I know your daughter's voice very well.
Okay, very good. We had a problem over here, that's why I haven't called you back yet, but I will be because I know class is going to be starting this Saturday. So I'm going to give you a call tomorrow about that. But tonight, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, if it's okay. And one was about what someone said earlier about organ energy. And the other one is about why nothing never happens to the Caucasians. You know, all these accidents and things that we have, and these volcano eruptions and earthquakes and stuff like this. Nothing, never they show nothing on television. They're always, protected, it looks like.
How often have you listened to this show?
Yes.
Oh, man, in Iceland, they had 2 volcanoes to go up there over the weekend again. In Greece, again, at the Santorini, the subterranean Colombo volcano is brewing up there. In fact, they're making all the ships there stay in port. Oh, man, they've had winds. In Great Britain, they had 106-mile-per-hour gale force winds 2 days ago. They got 3 dead. The channel goes there, and the tunnel underneath it are all closed right in through now. And in fact, Yes, everything's happening over there, too, just like here.
Yeah.
You don't hear some of the reports because they don't emphasize it.
And they never tell you anything.
All they tell you, you have to go to the net and you have to do some of your own readings because, again, you know, this is a controlled press.
Yes, yes. And what about the orgone energy? I'm really interested in knowing about that.
Well, orgone energy, according to metaphysics, there are three types of energy that a planet under a sun can operate on. One is orgone, which stands for original, orgasm, organism, orgone, all things on a very high plane, straight and very close to the universal creator's mind. Secondly is magnetism. And that's the one which we're entering into as we get into the fifth dimension. That works with the spirit body and everything spiritual. The third, we already know electricity. And the fourth, which they created, which is as evil as you can get, extra low frequency. And that's what everything that everybody's buying now. All these droids and all these daggone cell phones and iPods and television sets and MP3 players and microwave ovens, all operating on cells, all operating on things that will make your cell age, make you look older and everything else. That's all that they produce. Diodes are your answer for all of those, by the way.
So if I wanted to, like for instance, for the magnetism, right? Does it bring any type of spiritual involvement, or does it give you any extra energy if you were to make your own in the house here? Like for instance, I take a cardboard box, or maybe something a little better, and then make
I'm going to have to cut you short after this one. Let me see if I got your overall question. You're asking about magnetism, and what about cardboard boxes? I'm not quite understanding.
No, if I wanted to make an orgone energy, if I wanted to make a form of that myself in my home. Yeah.
Well, I would need to talk with you off the air on that one.
Oh, okay,
because,
fine.
you know, most of them are using resins, and you can get very cheap resin. And if you put it on a diode plaque, and I think you have one, it'll take the poisons out, and you can still use it. So why use a cardboard box? You want something that you can put a Mobius card into. But we can talk about that off the air.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But I thank you very much for calling, and I thank you very much for ordering.
And I will be calling you tomorrow.
Creator bless.
Okay? Okay, have a good night. I'm still listening to the show, though. Don't cut me off. I'm still going to be on the show listening. Can I still do that?
You asked Brother
Okay.
Sure, you definitely can.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have area code 678. 678, you're on the air.
Uh-oh. We got a sleeper, or they changed their mind again. 678. They're not changing.
They have speeches. All right. Well, thank you, 678. The next call is area code 410.
Greetings, Brother Northeast, Dr. Blair.
Greetings.
Yeah, Dr. Blair, I just want to commend you and praise you for all the sacrifice and knowledge that you've given the people and waking our consciousness up, first of all. I had a question, pretty much. What are some of the changes that, we're going to experience mentally and physically, on the individual level as we enter the fifth dimension, saying that we're conscious, we're eating right, thinking right, and, doing the things we need to be doing?
Well, first of all, you'll sleep less. Secondly, you'll be aware of time speeding by. Third, you'll be told of all the things you should be doing to make yourself even better. And as you do that, you'll be told of more things should be done to make each other better. The urge to mate or to find love will be there. The urge to expand consciousness and become psychic will be there. Being able to speak many languages will be driven, even though you can be able to do it pretty soon because you'll read thoughts, not languages, but this is a drive for that. The urge to get away from things that are evil and to become light in consciousness and to laugh more, even though you know it's serious. All these things are letting you know your vibrations are speeding up. And the more the gold you take, the more the diodes you use to block all these low frequencies and these frequencies that are not only killing you, but keeping you low down, the more you'll be able to tune to that. All of those are just little things that everybody can begin to experience if you're on your way upward, and I think you are. You wouldn't be listening to this show.
Okay, great. Also, one more quick question. As far as making a living and okay.
I'm sorry, we've got a lot of callers. I hate to have to cut you off, but we've got to
call later on, brothers and sisters. Call later on. But call now for the show.
Right. If you put your hand down and put your hand up, if we get back to you, then we get back to you. But let us move on to our next caller that's been waiting patiently. That's area code 912.
912. Going. Please speak.
912, once, twice. Thank you. Our next call is area code 773.
Yes. How you doing, Maurice, Brother Maurice, and Dr. Blair? Can you hear me?
Fine.
Doing fine. Hear you well.
Okay, I know it's a lot of callers, so I'll make it quick. Dr. Blair, do you think that when the three suns come, everybody won't be able to stay on the surface, will they?
Well, the three suns are already here, and we're on the surface, aren't we?
Yes.
Now, staying on the surface, that gets to be something else, because not only will there be all kind of possibilities of havoc, earthquakes and tornadoes and everything else happening on the surface, but it will be happening in the inner world too. It'll be happening in the cave world. A volcano cannot spout unless it comes through the tunnels that lead to the spouting of the volcano, which means the rumblings of those who live inside the cave world will also be threatened. The whole earth is changing, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. They're going to make you think it's worse than it is because they're going to try and make it worse than it is. That's where you're going to have intervention. That's what we must be prepared for.
Well,
After them,
Blair,
they destroy the whole planet. The planet is not theirs to destroy. People, yes. The planet, never.
Well, I want to leave you with this. Thank you. I keep having dreams of dolphins in the Great Lakes, and I remember you said that they salinated the planet, so it was always fresh water at one point. So that means our dolphins used to be freshwater dolphins, right?
Well, the dolphins at one time, if they were here before the flood, then yes, they were able to adapt to fresh water. As a matter, when did the dolphins come? And that you have to ask Oenus and all the rest of them to talk to the Dogons and so on again like that, to talk to Tuaregs and Siligs and all like this. They're the ones that talked about the guys that came from space in the form of fish. That's another long story.
Thank you, Dr. Blair. I love you.
All right, thank you for calling.
You know, interesting about that, too, you know, it's already an interesting aspect again. They still have, you know, in Miami, they still have dolphin kissing. People go up there in 100 feet of water with everything else. The dolphins protect them, come up and kiss them. And again, and after the way the Japanese treated the dolphins, I do believe, along with that Fulbright thing, that's one of the reasons why Japan caught so much hell. They were slaughtering dolphins, and they knew better because they well, that's another long story. It's very interesting things. Nothing happens now without a reason, good or bad.
Wow, that's fascinating. that's something else.
You got to respect life in all forms.
Especially intelligent and psychic life. Dolphins are extremely intelligent and psychic. They used to be the ones protect us from the sharks and the things in the deep, and you go slaughter them? Oh, man, you know.
Hey, hand that feeds you. You know. Our next call is area code 416.
Yeah, hello. Good night, Dr. Blair. Good night, Brother Morris.
Good night, my brother.
How are you doing? I'm going to make this short. My question tonight is, this year we know that we're going to make an ascension, right? And ladies, a lot of ladies are still having babies and stuff. So I want to know that these new babies that is being born every month coming, are they going to be able to make the transition very smoothly? Are they going to be able to adapt to the new frequency? Because
I asked my daughter. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I cut you off. I'm sorry. Please finish.
Yeah, I'm saying, these little babies. I want to know if they're gonna adapt because they're so young. They're just born. So I want to know if they're gonna adapt to the new.
That's what I asked my daughter. Why in the world would you bring in a baby at this time in? And my little inner voice, you know, my wife's voice from space said, because they're supposed to bring him in, don't worry about it. So that was that then. Any soul coming in now has got to be a star seed. It's got to be either out of their minds or about to control yours. Obviously, they don't need to stay here long. They need to come in for a transition just to say that they came through. That's why they waited this long. They'll come in rich with all kind of psychic ability. They'll wake up out of the womb almost talking and walking. You know I'm exaggerating. But, yes, they'll be able to bring through a karma or a dharma to fulfill it just before the ascension. They'll make it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling in, brother. Our next call is area code 334. 334, you are on the line.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello? Yes, Dr. Blair, how you doing? And Brother Maurice?
Doing well, sir, and you too. Hope.
All right, my name is Josh. I'm calling out of Montgomery, Alabama. Love the show. Love everything you guys doing. I had a quick question as far as the gold capsules, the monatomic gold. I just wanted to know specifically what exactly does it do?
Well, monatomic gold, all of the ones that I sell work to make your vibration speed up. wherever they go, the cells they go into, the cell would try to act as it's supposed to act with any kind of way at all. And we got different ones for different things. We got 15 different ones. Top of the line, $90 DNA boost for cancer and tumors and cells that will not obey the cell governor and become semi-permeable, stops them from becoming free radicals while it's in the system. All the way down to the powder, which makes you psychic, down to the gold and silver, which is for the immune system, killing off parasites, bacteria, and what do they call these other things? I can't even think of the word right now. We've got them again for colds and mucus. We've got them to to help alter your thoughts. All the gold does one thing, raises the vibration of any cell or any organ or any gland that secretes hormones that you have it on.
All right, cool. Sounds good. And with taking that, do you need to be on a certain type diet or anything, or?
Never hurts to clean yourself out, especially when you're taking gold, because it'll work with you to do so. We also have a cleanser for men, and we have a cleanser for women, and it has 17 things in it. We got a 7-dayer, and we got a 14-dayer. Now they're selling like mad. People are all waking up. Never hurts to clean out your body. And this will do it without griping and so on and so forth. Also kill parasites and parasite eggs.
All right, sounds good. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. One-stop shopping at the medicine room.
Well, thank you for calling, Josh. Our next call is area code 615. Oh, 615, you're on the air now. 615 going once.
That should be Nashville. They're not talking, huh? Okay.
Thank you, Nashville. Our next call is area code 954.
Yes.
Yes, you're on.
Hello, yes.
Yes, we're listening to you.
Hi, I'm Elijah Chong calling from Pembroke Pines, Florida. I'm 13, and I would like to know what is going to happen on the supposed date of the end of the world on December 21st.
Wow. I tell you what, once you hang up, go to the same show last week where we talked about that in detail. You just go to Dr. Pookum's show there again, the same one you're listening to. Overview, the world will not come to an end on December 21st, 2012, according to Blair. That's only according to Blair, and I'm nobody, man. So I just don't believe it's going to happen. I think we're going to go to higher frequencies. And if you heard the first of this show, there's an empress there in Japan that's already going online, preparing people for the 27th, 28th, and 29th, saying that there'll be days of darkness. Well, there can't be darkness when there are no days. So consequently, if any of this makes any bearing, what you're doing now, you're going through the hells now. When you can start making it to 2013, you'll be in a whole different vibration. What you're doing now is prepare yourself to go to higher heavens, to higher consciousness. That's what I think. Don't take anything I say for real. Don't take anything I say for false. You have to go within to get your truth. Pray on that. Go to sleep at night. Ask you, your higher self and your creator, the same question you're asking me. Get your answer from him or her or them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Blair.
Hello, whoever said what?
This is Mom. Thank you. Blessings to you.
Who is this?
This is Nicole. I met you in Atlanta at Dr. Pookrum's gathering.
Oh, okay. You had your son to call in.
Yes, well, he was asking questions, so I had him listening.
Okay.
So.
You gave me a lift to the restaurant, right? The health food store.
No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, sorry about that.
But it was a pleasure meeting with you, but thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for calling, both of you. So our next call is from area code 313.
This light scan from Inkster again. And
I got another question.
Can you hear me?
You sure can. We're waiting for you to talk.
All right. Now I asked about the monatomic gold making your body more conducive to frequencies, right? And you said it makes your body more conducive to all frequencies. And if you have, we'll call them the Illuminati, using EFLs and radio frequencies for mind control, to alter vibrations, and if you're taking the gold, how do you combat that?
Okay, first of all, you called before, didn't you?
Yes.
You just admitted you're not supposed to be calling back twice, so I'm going to cut you off, but I'm going to answer your question as I cut you off. Is that agreed to? That agree to?
All right, yeah.
All right, now I'm going to answer your question off the air. Now, what I said was frequencies are adapted to. This makes you able to adapt to any frequency you want to, but the higher frequencies are what it's going to bring in. If you're on the lower frequencies already, that's why you're already using the iPod. That's why you're already probably doing whatever you're doing, using the, what do they call these, the Blackberries and the Droids out there, probably nothing on your cell phones. You know, these radiations are already there. If you go out and you take a shot, you take a vaccine, you take a vaccination, anything along this line, you already got low vibrations. You probably got a chip into you if you got one of those shots. They're making women go out now. I wanted to warn that other sister, too. I think they're smart enough. Do not let them tell you about you have to get a CNC because you can't deliver and all this kind of stuff. That's the next thing they do is want to cut you open to make sure they can do something to the baby before you can protect him. Your frequencies are already low. All you can do is get higher. Everything you're doing now has a low vibration to it. I went on before this. I don't even want to go through it. Almost every kind of device now that's working with extra low frequency is harming you. You can't do anything but go up it.
Wow. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for calling 313. See, our next call is coming from a private line. I'm not sure if it's from a computer or just a private line on the phone, but I'm just getting all one. So, greetings, caller.
Hello?
No, you call. Yes,
Can
that's
you hear
you. Hello.
We can hear you. To speak up a little bit louder,
My number
please.
should have come up. High-level intergalactic divine universal one love greetings, Honorable Dr. Delbert Blair and Honorable Maurice. Happy New Year.
Sister BB, how are you doing?
I am Angela Del Philly, present here and now. I am BB. Yes, I'm doing great, and thanks for the shout-out last week. We hope you'll join us this coming Sunday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight after this show, if I can give the number, I'd humbly appreciate it because I want to talk about Japan and something else.
Your number.
1-661-554-9123. And the URL is blogtalkradio.com/the, THE Legacy, LEGACY, of a nation. And we are on tonight. We're going to talk about the Constitution. And on Sunday, we will be seeing, or if you will, bringing in the Honorable Dr. Delbert Blair and the Honorable Robert Thomas on that same line. We're on 6 nights a week now. But what I wanted to bring to your attention and what you think about it, or did I mention it to you before about Japan and Australia, I had noticed that Australia was claiming international laws that Japan was breaking. You mentioned killing the dolphins. I thought it was something about them killing whales, and it was breaking international laws. And I noticed 1 minute Japan would have a small earthquake. This was before March 11th, 2011. And the next thing I know, Australia was having big fires. And then the next, back and forth type of thing. And the week before, Japan had...
Okay, you're taking up too much time. What you're doing is to share with us information.
All right. So
appreciate that. But you want to again repeat how people can hear more of you tonight once more?
Yes, thank you. 1-661-554-9123 and blogtalkradio.com/the Legacy, LEGACY, of a nation, but we prefer you to call 1-661-554-9123. God bless you all and Happy New Year.
Thank you much, Sister.
Thank you. I love you.
All right, thank you very much. Coming up next is area code 913. 913, you're on the air.
Hello. We're listening to you.
Hello. Yes, hello.
We're listening to you.
Hello.
We're listening to you.
Okay.
Please talk, or we're going to have to cut you off.
All right. How you doing, Dr. Blair and Maurice? I had a question about the lining of the planets. Now, what I heard is all the planets in our solar system are supposed to align straight. Is that going to be our 3 days of darkness?
Well, whether that alignment is happening at that time, I don't know. I haven't looked that forward again. If you heard the first of the show, supposedly the Empress over in Japan predicts 27, 28, and 29, or something like that, of December when it's going to be days of darkness. I have a poem, and if you tune in on Saturday, I'm going to read my point. It's one of the probabilities of what will happen and my reason for thinking it is. I do think this is a pivotal year. It's not the end of our world, but I hope it's going to be the end of a vibrational creature on this planet that no longer will be able to stay here, and we'll all be free. Okay. Those are called dragons and walking serpents and all the rest of that ilk.
All right, one more question. I don't know if you've been out the country here lately.
Only one question.
We are cutting short. We don't have time for another question.
Well, I just wanted to know, is there any vaccines? Do you have to take certain vaccines to get out the country?
Well, I would not take any vaccines to get out of the country, and you can still protest against it. Whether or not they let you back in or not, I have no idea, but it ain't worth it to me. Okay, that was the answer to that question there real quickly. And you can call in again after the show if you want. You can make a consultation or you can talk with me, 708-422-6685, 708-422-6685. We can talk further.
All right, and our last call for tonight is going to be area code 586.
Hello?
You're on,
Hello, you're
and
on.
you have much time. Please
Yeah,
talk.
I had talked with you guys earlier. So I guess I'm the last caller, and I have really nothing else to say. Kind of basically touched on everything I wanted to know.
Oh, well, thank you for staying tuned, and I hope you will stay tuned again and tune in again on Saturday. And I hope you'll call the number I gave before, 708-422-6685, if you have more questions or you want to sign up for a Saturday show or whichever again. Maurice, you know I'm going to end it. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. I mean that with ardent things again. Remember that old phrase, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual weaknesses in high places. Let's hope that these high places will be the places now that we will constitute and not that will consistently go against us. We don't have a government anymore. The Creator is our only celestial happening. Hope we can form a celestial government by the end of the year.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so very much, Dr. Blair, and thank you all for listening to Two for Consequences 2012. And we will see you here next Thursday at 7:30 p.m., and we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. for the Science of Politics show with your host, Ms. Henrietta Turnquist. And then 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, we have the Music for the Mind of the Sciences show with yours truly, and we do it all over again next Monday at 5 o'clock p.m. with the Dr. Jewel Balancing Program show. So we will see you all next week. Take care, Creator bless, and have a great night.
Thank you for listening to the Jewel Network. For our complete broadcast schedule, additional information, and to purchase products, please visit our website at www.thejewelnetwork.net. If you'd like to reach us, please send an email to info@thejewelnetwork.net.